What's going on, boys? Welcome back to another video. Absolute banger! Now that I'm streaming free on Twitch every morning, go check it out. I'm dropping bangers for free. We're gonna look at the footage. We're gonna go over the trade because this trade itself was just all about intuition. My own mind put me into this trade, and I'm getting rewarded for it because the experience that I have looking at these things. And the faster you watch these videos, break it down, I'm gonna try and make this as enjoyable as possible. You're gonna start to make money too. I just want to say real quick, my one-on-one mentorship is now back open after a couple months. One-on-one coaching with me and my head mod, lifetime Discord access, group calls and back testing every single week, a full Pathway to Profits course that I made last month, and the most handheld, serious one-on-one development you'll probably ever get. I'm only gonna have it open for probably a week though. Click the link below, fill it out, let's talk. Just so you know, I've probably worked with people a lot worse than you, and they've done pretty well.
And there were some certain things that he said that just clicked and just set me straight about my trading, and I just took my first 2K payout.
I love you, Jake. All right, this is going to get copyrighted, so I got to be careful. I want to see this close above. Remember, I stream for free every single day on YouTube and Twitch, so watch it. There goes our entry right at this candle closes, the 2-minute time frame. Boom. What do you guys notice about this? Okay, I know there's two of me covering the entire screen, but you need to look at this. Initially, we are very bullish. We're right by all-time highs, okay? My TP was actually at all-time highs, which little crazy, but I mean, we were so close. You can kind of tell, I know I'm covering it, but we're seeing an uptrending gold. And what do we notice right here? You guys see my little mouse right next to me. We have this initial low we created right there, and that ended up being where my stop loss was at. We see it retrace. It actually gets underneath the EMA, which I'm not too worried about, but what do we see? We see buys pick this up, hold it, and then push it to another high. So what does this show us? This shows us that there's buyers down here. They just proved that to us. In most scenarios, in a more, I would probably say on NQ, I would have my stop loss at the bottom of this wick right here, the one we actually entered off of, but it was only around 1.5 points, so I just brought it down to this low. This was the entry, okay, and what do we have to play off of? You really have to learn to bite the bullet with some of this stuff, and this is why intuition is so important for me. I actually don't know if it is just yet. Maybe it would have played out. I think it did, but anyways, we have a negative RR trade here, which again, I used to be against a lot, but in most scenarios, like, you have to do something like this. You have to be able to have the hindsight and the context to do that. I have my stop loss at the previous low. I have my TP at all-time highs. You know, I feel like there's been times where I've done this before, and I think this trade would have played out anyways, but, you know, I would run a 1-to-1 off this just because I feel like I need to run a 1-to-1, and I would get stopped out of it. When in reality, you should be targeting every single time you're in a trade. In this scenario, in a bullish scenario, your stop loss should be at the previous low, your TP should be at the previous high. And boom, that's exactly what I did. It's a 0.8 RR, which isn't too bad, especially when you're still making 4 points off this like I did. You know, it's still an ideal scenario, but what do we start to see off of this? And this is now I can kind of re-emphasize how bullish we were. You guys remember I was talking about how bullish we were. Big buy up, rejection, confirmation of buys, big buy up, rejection. We're looking for that same exact thing. We got the rejection off the 2-minute EMA. We jump in right there. Stop loss at this low. TP was at all-time highs right here. And as we start to progress, we actually started down on this trade, and I was getting a little worried, I can't lie, but we all know a healthy, good trade needs to be in drawdown first. That's how it's supposed to be operated. What do I expect when I'm in a trade like this? I'm expecting something like this. I'm expecting to see buys in here and pushing it up. So really, in theory, if you're wanting to see this trade hit TP, you know that the buyers are here. You're expecting price to come down to here, big buys come in, push it up. That's all you're expecting to see. So, you know, a lot of people like to hit the panic button a little too quick, and I do sometimes when I'm on stream. You know, I kind of get a little bit of pressure on me, but we start to see it actually pick up, and this is where it got a little scary. We came up to break even, came right back down, but you guys see right here in the area specifically, we have this entire area marked out for drawdown, but we expect to really see buys come in this area where they previously were, and they were here as well. And what do we see? Exactly what we expected. You know, like, I feel like duh, like that's the whole point of the trade. But, you know, sometimes, okay, you could say, Steph, why wouldn't you just wait for it to come down to here, then enter longs? Which ideally you could, yes, but like, I'm not here to top tick and bottom tick, bro. Like, I like having room when I'm in a trade, and it could just take up off and hit TP here, which isn't a big bad thing. You know, so just giving yourself the room, it's not always the worst thing. You should never always try to, you know, have the perfect setup, perfect entry, and knowing that there could be buys here, you know, you don't want to just wait to get in right here, because at that point there really is no entry, especially to the buy side. Honestly, shorts look pretty good off this candle close. It held strong. We actually see this consolidate for a minute. Maybe even 2. Oh, nope, there it goes. It comes up. I believe this next candle a little bit came down a little bit. Yep, we almost hit TP, and then boom, shot right up. We hit TP fully on this. And the reason why I want to run this back on TP would have been 4.6 for us to run a 1-to-1. Look what happens right after we exit this trade, by the way. I'll alert this in the Discord, pop it in there. By the way, I'm running a huge sale on my Discord right now. It's actually $50 to get into the accelerator, which is just the live trading, the calls, the weekly, strategy build out. Super cool community. It's literally never going to be $50 again. So if you want to jump in, go ahead. What do we see here? If we were to run a 1-to-1, it would have paid out, obviously, but watch what happens. We actually caught high of day here. So it wasn't too, I would say unpredictable. This was all-time highs. I would expect us to hit this all-time high, see some pretty much aggressive sells come in, and I don't know about to this level, but we got out at a good time. But remember what I was saying about always being kind of adherent about the areas we were expecting to exit. This was a good area to exit, all-time highs. People, again, we would have been fine if we were in the 4.6, but still, it's just look what happens right after we hit this level. We were expecting to see sells there, and that's exactly what happened. So, just hindsight's always super, super important. Context is the king with this stuff. Just because you're running a negative RR trade does not mean it is a bad thing. If anything, you're just giving yourself more room. 4 points, especially on a week like this. We have FOMC coming up. I probably am not going to be too aggressive going forward. I'm going to be very conservative. But man, I think right now where I'm trading at super, super solid. We had a really good week last week. We've had a good week so far. I don't think I've taken a loss from an alert, which is really strong. I think we're up around 6 points this week so far on gold, which is really, really massive. Gold is at all-time highs. You want to play longs, of course. We got our entry, we waited, we were patient, we had our stop loss exactly where it needed to be, we had our take profit exactly where it needed to be. Are you surprised we made money? Probably not. So thank you for watching, like and subscribe, check out the Pathway to Profits if you want one-on-one mentorship. Love you, man. See you later. Join my Twitch and YouTube in the mornings, trust. I'm just giving out free money. Like, you get to watch a video and make money. I wish I could do that.